All right, we're back here at Lantern Insights, and today we're trying out a new card, Profane Tutor. It's been one that lots of people have been talking about, kind of starting to play, and I decided I should finally try it out, see how it works. So to start, basically took my current list and replaced Stirrings with Profane Tutor. As we'll go on, we'll kind of talk about some of the changes and what's going to change going forward, as I certainly want to test it more, but this is my very first game playing Profane Tutor, so we'll see how it goes. How I think it incorporates very well into the deck. If we think about Lantern as a combo deck where you're trying to assemble Lantern plus Shredder plus Bridge and then win, I think in that kind of mindset, Profane Tutor really fits, as it allows you to assemble that combo faster. So we start out on a one lander, but it has the full combo, so I think going to take the chances of drawing a second one, and we just run out a Lantern here and see a Thoughtseize and a Zuri. Thoughtseize isn't great because we do need a second land, but playing against Elves, I think this is definitely a favorable matchup for us, and so they're going to just do what Elves does, run out a one drop, and we see a Courtyard on top, and because they have Stomping Ground, I don't think we need to rush to get either the Bell or the Shredder out, as we'll be able to play like both of them next turn. So I think I value the information here of kind of seeing what they're working with. And obviously they got a couple one drops. I think the War Master is the one that's going to put a lot of pressure on us quickly. Kind of making mana into a Zuri, they need like the extra tokens from War Master. So next turn, if their turn 2 is land War Master Mystic, I think that puts a lot of pressure on us pretty quickly. So I take the War Master here. As a Zuri, I'm not too worried about. And it's nice they're drawing a land here. This first game, we don't have a ton with Profane Tutor. Doesn't really come up, kind of just normal Lantern, but in the second one, it's extremely valuable. And so we're actually going to elect here to run out the Bell, as we kind of want to control our own to get a third land and theirs at the same time. And then we elect to pending one of their dorks. There's been a lot of talk about Prismatic Ending versus Assassin's Trophy kind of as removal spells. I personally like Prismatic Ending. I think it's extremely efficient, and a lot of the aggressive decks that you want removal for, it's very good against. Obviously, Trophy is going to be better against things like Tron, but personally, I'm still on pending. I might put some trophies in the sideboard, kind of still sorting out the sideboard for this Profane Tutor version, so we'll have to see. I just like to exile one drop, kind of slow them down a bit, as they are just drawing another land. And then we see an Elven Chorus on top here. We don't really want them chaining things together from the top of their library, so we'll eventually get rid of that, and helps that just Bobble on top, kind of just going for our third land. And once we land Bridge, at least game one, they likely don't have too many answers. Nettle Sentinel, good card for them, but very good with Heritage Druid, which is in their hand. Not a big deal though. So we mill both of us. One thing to note there is if we milled both of us and something really good came up on their library, we can just play Shredder. So I think it's still correct there, and we find the third land. We just run out Bridge, and then from here it's pretty straightforward. I'll just go through it quickly. They're gonna draw cards. Cord. I don't know if game one they have too many creatures to really worry about, but we're gonna mill it anyway. Eventually on our turn, we want to get the second rock down. Because they have so many creatures with one power, we do want to draw this land. That's why we wait until our turn. We're going to play Beseiju, just kind of one of their main outs. They do wait. They hold their fetch, which is kind of how you play this. And as we continue to play, we see a Profane Tutor on top, but they elect to concede here. There isn't really much they can do with two rocks and everything. So we have this one wrapped up. Profane Tutor didn't really come up this game, but like I said before, the next two games, the Tutor is very valuable. They concede before it comes off suspend. Elves game one, I think we're pretty favored. They don't really have much game 1 at least. We'll see if how we can do games 2 and games 2. I'm not going to talk about sideboarding too much, still sorting out what I want the sideboard to be. One card they've included is Cursed Totems. I'm going to play 2 of those. I think with Yogg probably getting a bit better, Scales getting a bit better, it's a nice card to have access to. So I do bring some of those in. And we open a pretty solid hand here. We have Profane Tutor to go get Codex Shredder. If Lantern and Bridge stick, we have a Pending if they go turn 1 Elf. Those turn 1, like the 1-drops, are kind of one of the main reasons why I like Pending so much. Just having that answer for Ragavan or Elvish Mystic or anything like that, I think is very useful. So they end up playing a Glintleaf Palace. They do reveal an Azuri, and then they just pass here. Definitely a weird draw for them, as they have a ton of 1-drops in their deck. So I think it's probably a bit suspicious and likely means that they have some interaction in hand. We're just going to run out Lantern, and we see a 3rd Profane Tutor on top. And yeah, this is going to really highlight why I think Tutor can be very good in the deck, coming around to that idea. So, and they again pass through turn 2. So our Prismatic Ending isn't doing a ton for us. But like whenever they play something, we'll be able to deal with it. Definitely a weird draw from them, and I'm pretty sure they have some form of interaction. But I don't know why they would have kept the hand if they didn't have some way of interrupting us. And here we're just gonna put 1 Tutor on suspend. And yeah, wait, I think like 2 turns, suspend 2 is pretty low. If we suspend it on turn 2, it's coming off on turn 4. Pretty less time than you'd think against a lot of decks. And they're gonna run out a Archdruid here. And I think this is a creature I want to remove. Yeah, definitely slow draw for them. And we're just going to elect to Pending it this turn, as we don't want them to keep having that. And then as we move along here, we see a Phyrexian Revoker on top. 1 card, just to note, if they have like Court of Calling, they can get a Revoker, and definitely like shuts down their Shredder is probably the likely one. So they Besage You our Lantern here, and we're gonna crack it in response to get rid of the Revoker, as we don't want them to have it. So then the Besage You fizzles here. We don't get to get a land. But I think some of this is going to highlight we'll kind of see some of the strengths of Profane Tutor here. Whereas we take the last counter off, I think because they've kind of been representing interaction this whole time, we do want to get something to combat that. So I'm going to grab a Thoughtseize here, as I think they clearly have something. But then we're just going to go double Profane Tutor here. So basically this is like putting them on a 2-turn clock where they have to basically like kill us before turn 6, or else we're going to get double Tutor and then just have the full lock in place. So they play a Tyvar here. Obviously a strong card, giving everything haste. They'll kind of let them chain together spells pretty effectively. Fortunately they don't have much to chain. And we're just counting down until these bridges come off. And so we're gonna see a Thoughtseize and see that they do have Force of Vigor. Obviously we're gonna take it. We were correct that they had interaction. It was probably a key reason why they kept this opener. Azuri Chord. We've seen the Phyrexian Revoker that we exiled. Probably only a 1 of, but I think they could also play Haywire Might here. So we elect to Needle the Might, as it's a creature that they could have and get off Chord. As we'll see, they actually end up getting, so they end up main phasing a Chord here and getting a Collector Oof. This isn't a huge deal here. You'll notice we have Lantern in the graveyard and Academy Ruins, so we're just going to get a Prismatic Ending. And so like like I said, the two Profane Tutors really strong here. Definitely don't think we win this game without without the tutors. So we grab Pending for the oof, and then we're going to grab a Codex Shredder. And then drawing a Glimmer Void's nice. We have Painless Mana for Academy Ruins. And so we'll exile the oof, play a Shredder, and we're off to the races here. Kind of at their end step, we will put Lantern on top, and then from there it's just kind of generally milling them out. I'll just hit play and let it play. Overall, my thoughts, this matchup, Profane Tutor was really strong, game 2. Like we saw 3 of them, and just without kind of early pressure, it was definitely really strong. Like we were able to just remove some of their early threats and then deal with all their other ones as they came later. There's not really another card that would do what it was able to there. Even something like like at one point we used Profane Tutor to get an answer to Collector Roof, which could grab like a portable hole or something, but doesn't feel quite as efficient. Yeah, here we do elect to hold Prismatic Ending. They have Elvish Archdruid out, so none of their creatures can attack anyway, and they drew a second Tyvar, so we're kind of hoping they would use one Tyvar and then play the other one and Legend Rule it. We draw a second Pending anyway, and then with the Tutor coming off Suspend, they just concede here. So I think Tutor, we're going to keep trying it out. Looking at moving to more of a straight white-black version to get Prismatic Ending, and then Profane Tutor. Still black is the base color. We'll update. We'll have a couple more videos later this week as I keep developing this list and really trying to maximize both Prismatic Ending and Profane Tutor. So hopefully you guys enjoyed crushing elves, and we'll see how the testing goes this week.